Definitely. She didn't want to tell him this, at the risk of seeming pathetic, but she'd follow him anywhere. They said their goodbyes and headed toward the cashier. "Looks like they're eager to start in on the wedding night," one of the players called after them. A chorus of guffaws. "Here's to the honeymoon. Congratulations on your marriage." "They actually think," Celia turned and waved to the well-wishers, "we're going to get married." "That's 'cause we are." Once they'd cashed in their chips, they made their way to the taxi line outside the front entrance. Cool December air scented with car exhaust enveloped them. Ty held Celia's jacket for her while she shrugged into it, then wrapped his arms around her for extra warmth. He stood behind her, his front to her back, as they shuffled forward in line. Celia checked her watch. 1:30. Any other city would have been dark and shuttered at this hour. Here, lights blazed, slot machines jangled, and people clogged the sidewalks. An older couple in sweats and fanny packs stood in front of them. A group of 20-year-olds dressed like Kardashians stood behind them. Celia had never felt more distanced from her regular life, nor a greater sense of surrealism, nor happier, thanks to him. Ty Porter, the high school crush she'd never outgrown. During childhood and adolescence, her father's job had relocated their family to a new city every few years. She could remember how furious she'd been at the age of 14 when she'd been forced to move yet again the summer before her 9th grade year. They'd settled in Plano, Texas. The address of their unimaginative house in their dull subdivision had dictated that she'd attend Plano East Senior High. Celia had decided to hate it. She'd managed to stay that course until the moment when Ty Porter had taken the seat next to her in Introduction to Ceramics. She could recall exactly how he'd looked that day, a tall, well-built sophomore with golden brown hair and dancing blue eyes. His appearance had been good enough, but then he'd gazed at her as if he really saw her. He'd cracked jokes under his breath. He'd asked her advice on his coil pot. Within 2 weeks, every hope and dream she'd ever had about the opposite sex had coalesced into a devoted and long-lasting infatuation with him. "You cold?" He tightened his arms around her. "Not a bit." He rested his chin on the top of her head. They inched forward. Ty'd been incredibly sweet to her during their high school years. He'd always gone out of his way to flirt with her and to make an unpretty teenager feel very pretty indeed. Despite her prayers, though, their friendship had never led to anything more serious than Mrs. Celia Porter doodled through her spiral-bound notebooks. Oh, he'd dated plenty, but he'd always chosen beautiful, outgoing girls his age or older. Girls Celia had envied with every drop of teenaged emotion she possessed. After graduation, Ty had enlisted in the Marines and moved away. Celia had slunk around in a cloud of despair over him that whole summer. A year later, she herself had graduated and moved to Oregon for college. 2.5 years ago, she'd completed her degree and taken a job as a restaurant sous chef. All told, she hadn't seen Ty for 7.5 years. But when her high school friend Lacey had called and informed her that Ty would be competing in bull riding in the National Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas, his name had hit her like a lightning bolt. The passage of time and distance had not squelched her affection for Ty Porter. Celia had convinced Lacey to meet her in Vegas for a girls' weekend and bought tickets for them both to the rodeo. She and Ty reached the front of the line. A taxi pulled up, and a casino employee held open its door as they climbed into the back seat.